Pull up a chair, the stories begin. Patrick and Randy are letting you in. From the desert lights where the big names are, it's big conversations, little bar. Athletes and dreamers, stars of the screen, leaders and builders, and all in between, sharing their journeys, how they've come this far. It's big conversations, little bar.
Welcome to Big Conversations, Little Bar, the Coachella Valley's favorite podcast, recorded live at Skip Page's Little Bar in Palm Desert. Get ready for another fascinating hour of meeting people who make the desert city such a spectacular place to be. Now, nestled in their corner booth perch, well lubricated and raring to chat, here's Patrick Evans and Randy Florence.
Thank you, Howard Hoffman. We are back here at Skip Page's Little Bar in the heart of Palm Desert in the coveted corner booth.
The center of the Coachella Valley.
Absolutely. Randy Flores, my co-host, the Barney Rubble to my Fred Flintstone, the Tonto to my Kimosabi, as I like to say. How are you?
I'm a little depressed now. That wasn't the best introduction I've ever gotten, but
Really?
Thank you.
It's the most recent.
It is the most recent. It is. Hey, we've got an unbelievable guest here, but I want to talk about something, and I know the timing's all off because by the time this show comes out, it'll be long gone. You will have moved on to bigger pastures in Hollywood or something. But you had a massive event last night that you got to be a part of, and for somebody like you, this had to be a highlight of your life at the McCallum Theatre. Please tell us about it.
It was a remarkable thing, and it was, I don't think people understood. They thought I was a plant, but I was not. I went to a symphony at the McCallum. They were doing music from films, and when the conductor was going to bring up and conduct the theme from Star Trek, he looked out in the crowd and he said, "We don't have William Shatner here, so we need somebody to do the opening monologue." And randomly, I've never met the guy. He just picked me out of the crowd. There were some people who said, "Oh, Patrick is a Star Trek fan." So I got to go up on stage and do the entire opening monologue with the orchestra and then sit there. And he actually handed me the baton.
I saw that.
And I'm sitting there kind of conducting the strings. And so
Did
they
you
were
show him
way
your
off.
tattoo?
I did show him my
You
tattoo.
did. Was he impressed?
He was, well, he did actually say, and it's on video, he said, "We need to talk to you about getting a life."
Well, congratulations on it. I was living vicariously because I've always told you I have a goal someday to be on the McCallum Theatre stage.
Last night was your opportunity. You could have been Captain Kirk, but instead I got to be. So it was phenomenal.
Well,
Let's get
I'm
to
glad
our
you were
guest,
there.
though.
Go ahead.
No, it was phenomenal. It was an amazing experience. We've been talking about having this gentleman on for a while.
A long time.
And I know that, we're both very excited, but I think you in particular
Yeah.
are super thrilled.
So I got a chance to.
It's too bad we're out of time.
So you were so good at the McCallum. So several weeks ago, we had J.R. Roberts, the head of the Foundation for the Plaza Theatre, here. And it was a fantastic hour. And at the end of it, he said, "Hey, would you guys like to talk to Brian Ray?" And I said, "Brian Ray, the Brian Ray?" And he said, "Yes." Gave me the email address. 48 hours later, Brian Ray is saying, "Yeah, I'll sit down with you guys at Little Bar." And here he is, Brian Ray.
Brian-
Thank you for being with us.
Thanks so much, Randy. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Patrick.
Now, we are delighted to have you, and we're going to get into your musical history. But I want to talk, my starting point with you is your involvement at the Plaza. And I know that you got to know JR pretty well, but you were pretty instrumental in helping to raise funds to get this theater reopened. Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's just a passion play, really. Let's see, how did this go? I was told about the Plaza Theater and sort of like asked to be a part of a fundraiser in the future by a guy named Spike Edney, who plays with Queen and lives out this way as well sometimes. And I said, that sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds like something I would get into, a great cause. I'd never seen the theater. So through someone else, I met JR and asked JR if I could come and see this, renowned theater. And I had never met it, but I had seen JR on Channel 3 doing his, back when he was on the city council.
Yeah.
I always just thought he was so cool. How could you put up with all of these people and stay so cool? Yeah, because it was like, oh my God, it's a coven of Karens coming at him. And he just stayed so chill. And so
Covenant carriage.
I already was a fan of his.
I do want to point out, by the way, that
Yeah.
Brian just endorsed News Channel 3. He is a viewer, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
We love local news. Well, I love
Especially
it.
that local news.
Yes.
Yeah. Shoot forward to meeting JR at the theater and walking in and seeing this grand old theater in a shambles, definitely not ready for its close up. It had seen better days and it was dormant, as you know. And I saw this place and just, it reminded me of the Arlington up in Santa Barbara. I think it was actually, the architect was the same guy.
Wow.
It's like the little brother of a famous theater up there. And I just fell in love with it and wanted to be involved with it. And I simply said something stupid like, what could I do to be involved? And he was just forming
The
foundation and the ideas around that. And this was 6 years ago now, a little more than 6 years ago, pre-pandemic. And so we started having meetings about it and wanted to know how I could fit in. And I thought what I think I could do first off would be to help with Spike put on together a really good show together and raise some money. And that's exactly what we did. But the truth is that I'd been approached right before the pandemic hits. And I'm thinking to myself, are humans ever going to want to sit next to each other ever again
Right.
in this world?
Right.
You know, we're charged with putting an old theater with seats right next to other seats. It's just like, I didn't know that it ever, we kind of shut down for a little while as a foundation. And just, as things went on, we kept meeting and look at us, we just opened and it's fabulous.
That's and for you, it wasn't just the theater was shut down. Everything you did for a living was shut down for a while.
Yeah,
right?
we had a big tour booked with Paul and the rug was pulled out from under that one. And we went and made up for that later. But yeah, it's...
I think for clarification, you should mention that the Paul is Paul McCartney.
It is?
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't know that?
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Let me look at my notes.
I've been working with Paul McCartney.
The Paul McCartney from Wings.
Oh my God. It's crazy.
Congratulations.
You've been doing that
you.
since the early 2000s, late 1990s?
2002.
2002.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's been 24 years.
Wow.
Can you believe that? We just turned 24 on February 4th.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is.
And you also just recently had a birthday, so happy belated birthday.
Well, thank you very much for that. Yeah.
So going back to the plaza. So obviously JR got enthralled with you pretty early because you wanted to get very involved.
Yeah.
And JR's smart enough to know that there's certain people that are going to get involved that are going to have some extra cachet attached to them to do it. So what kind of became the plan after? He talked a lot about it, the pandemic. If people had asked for their money back, they would have given them their money back because he didn't know what the plan was going to be.
Right.
So when did things start to kind of ramp up where you had a sense that this is going to be something pretty special?
Well, the one thing that I said that I might be able to offer, a fundraising concert, the story around that would take 3 podcasts to go through. It's the wiliest tale you've
Now, is
ever
this the
heard.
Rock the Plaza?
Rock the Plaza,
Okay.
which was November 11th, 2022.
So the fire department hadn't been in and said, we're all good.
Oh, I mean, this story is just beyond. Okay,
And
so
it was standing room only.
well,
there were no seats.
It was way oversold. No, there were seats. The old broken seats, but there were seats. Oh man, where to even start with this? It's such a fun story, but
Well, it was a huge story for this valley.
it was at a certain point. This show was going to be done at the Compass Rose Ballroom at Margaritaville, at the Riviera.
Right.
And I thought it was a great venue. It was going to be fabulous. But it's kind of a big oval, kind of huge. And what happened is one of the artists' schedule changed and they couldn't make the date we'd reserved for the Compass Rose Ballroom. And that same artist said they would be available the night before it on the 11th rather than the 12th. So I came back to the board and said, you guys, we're going to have to do it on the 11th and it can't be at the Compass Rose. Can we do it at the Plaza? And so the whole board had to vote on going into this place that was basically dormant and needed everything. Bathrooms didn't even work.
Wow.
And they voted on it unanimously and we did it.
How did that sound system compare to what's there now?
That sound system was hired by me.
Oh, okay. You brought it in.
I went and asked this great sound company called Claire Global if they would donate their time and energy, and a lighting company called Volt Lights if they would do the same. And we basically built it out in a couple of days to be a viable killer theater.
Yeah, it was an empty shell at that point.
There was no infrastructure.
But your involvement, obviously, with this concert and putting it together, and you're going to have to flesh out and tell people a little bit more about that night. But you also stepped up not just to perform, but you're a board member on the foundation.
Yeah.
I mean, you're really involved.
Yeah.
That's pretty dedicated.
Yeah.
Because I suspect you're like a lot of people. You don't like sitting in meetings.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, it's such grown up stuff, man. I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? You know, I know what I could do. I could rock out and probably raise some money. We raised nearly $400,000 between the show and the auction items. And we had great big auction items. We had signed go-go boots by Nancy Sinatra. We had signed and dedicated stuff from Paul McCartney. Brian May signed a guitar. We really got some great stuff going.
I remember doing the pre-publicity for that, and we had a couple of those items. I do a program called Eye on the Desert, and we were showing,
yeah,
and it was very cool what you guys were auctioning off. But talk about the talent. I mean, you were on stage. You guys really pulled out all the stops for this.
We did. I mean, Spike had gotten Paul Rogers from Bad Company. And
who also has a place out here.
He does have a place out here, who was incredible, by the way. And so I just sort of slipped into gear and got Alice Cooper and Joshua Homme from Queens of the Stone Age, Palm Desert's own Joshua Homme.
Yes.
And Orianthi, a female shredder guitar artist, and a band of my peers, you know, and I don't know how we did it, but we did it.
But it's an amazing way to marshal some incredible resources for this cause.
Yeah.
So now, when you look at the theater and you see it in full bloom, I mean, people going every night. They have shows virtually every night now.
Yeah, it's incredible to me because there's 3 years between Rock the Plaza and the grand opening December 1st just now. And you know how it is with construction things. You're like, this isn't going to happen. And it certainly isn't going to happen on time. And we're going to be so far over budget.
And the cost kept going up.
The cost kept going up. That you kind of anticipate. But I didn't anticipate opening on time. And we were in, man. We had an opening night. Tickets were on sale. I'm going like, oh, the seats aren't even in. It's October. What the hell are we doing? Anyway, I was out on tour with Paul at that time and getting photos from the place and going, oh my God, this isn't going to work. And they pulled it off. JR, John Bolton.
Oh, yeah.
The architects who did it. And,
John built Acrisure in about a month and a half. So I could figure it.
That's a 12,000 seat arena.
That's a 12,000 seat arena.
You do 800 seats in a theater.
That ought to be pretty simple.
Yeah.
I was just
deal.
there on Wednesday evening, and it's an amazing facility. And we were talking to JR about it because it wasn't a refit or a remodel. It was a restoration.
Yeah.
To take it back to its original form. So that was, and I always asked, why is this thing costing so damn much money? But he kind of explained that when you do a full restoration, the cost, especially post-COVID, just kind of went exponential. But you guys did it's immaculate. It's a great theater.
Thank you. I mean, I wish I could take credit for it. I didn't raise one hammer in there.
But you raised a lot of dollars.
And we raised money.
And you put an awful lot of man hours.
One of the reasons that it got to be so expensive was that what you don't see is that we got in there with earth movers. There were small diggers like that would be in the back of your yard to dig out a pool, digging out the whole floor there so that we could add going way under and adding air conditioning vents and all the infrastructure for electrical and fiber wire and all that stuff. So it was quite involved.
What is your involvement? Anything other than the board, your involvement going forward?
Oh, I would love to do more. And I've expressed that. I really don't know. Right now, they're just fulfilling this dream and getting this place rented out every night of the week. Every night
phenomenal.
In February is booked.
It is absolutely
incredible?
crazy.
28 nights in February.
Yeah. The amount of entertainment that is going to be taking place in this valley over the next 90 days, all across the valley, is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, it's been a pleasure. I mean, like, I'm not an architect and I'm not really an adult board member kind of guy, but yet here I am. But what I have done is call upon the connections that I've made. I've been so fortunate to make through Paul and through others. And one was to get a video wall donated to the theater that's 25 by 14 feet large. The whole back wall of the stage is a video screen. And that's incredible. That's something that most performing arts centers have.
Did I hear that this was the company who put together the Sphere?
Yeah. Seiko. Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
I can't wait to get in there and see it.
Fender Musical Instruments came in and they gave us a whole backline of gear, meaning amplifiers that any band who's using the space can use instead of having to go and rent some. So
how long
another donation.
How long have you been in the Palm Springs area?
I moved out here 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
Full time?
Half time.
Yeah. And where's the other half?
Santa Monica.
Okay.
Yeah, the Badlands of Santa Monica.
It's a rough town over there.
It's rough over there.
The Badlands. Is there? You talk to people all over the world who do what you do. Is there an understanding? Are people starting to pay even more attention to what's happening here in this valley with these venues opening up and the move of a lot of entertainers who might not be in their young peak, but they've been there and they're looking for some place a little slower, and this whole community's kind of coming together?
I think so. I mean, there's that great theater that you may have heard of before in Santa Monica called the Santa Monica Civic Auditorium.
Heard of it.
Where the Tammy Show was filmed, the Stones and James Brown and David Bowie recorded his record there. And I saw so many shows there. Well, that's up for possible renovation, restoration.
Wow.
And, it's either that or tear it down and build condos. And I know what I'd rather have done there.
Yes, music.
So that's very close to my heart and close to my house, actually, in Santa Monica.
Do you talk to others who are in the business that you're in who start asking you about the valley and what is it you like about it and should I be there?
Well, I see that there's a lot of movement towards mid-level theaters and entertainment places. Like, there's no doubt we'll always need stadiums and arenas, but we need theaters and clubs and bars. Like
how about the individual entertainers, though, the musicians and those folks that you have access to? Are they talking about the valley and noticing what we're doing?
I don't really know so much about that, except the musicians that I've asked in on this.
Yeah.
But I'll
because we don't want people coming and staying. So
keep moving.
Are you asking if like Mick Jagger's going to move out here? I feel like that's where you're.
Is he not here?
I don't think he is.
Oh,
there are a lot of artists who live out here, as you know.
Oh yeah.
But I think that musicians like playing this size venue, and I think it's really attractive. Yeah.
What attracted you to pick here as your second home?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, I lead a noisy life out there on the road, and I can't control that. I can't control how loud that gets. And it's a lot of social stuff, which is fine and fun. And it's very sort of adrenalized and sort of really dense when you get to work on tour. And when I come back, I want to take a breath away and really unplug. So I used to go to Two Bunch Palms for years in Desert Hot Springs. So like starting in 1979.
Wow.
I'd go there all the time.
Yeah, it's a great place to go and unplug.
And yeah, it's fantastic. And I never came into Palm Springs because I didn't want to be in a town. I didn't want to be in a city. I wanted to unplug. I'd literally stay on the grounds of Two Bunch, go there all the time. And it just came to be that I was at a wedding for my niece around 2018. And as you do when you have a great time at some, gathering like that, you start looking around and see what's available. And I did. And I ended up buying a place. And then I remembered that Palm Springs is like, the mid-century mecca of the world. It's like an adult Disneyland. If you like mid-century, that's the spot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And I'm a mid-century guy and a mid-century nut, so I just love it there.
Came to the right place.
Yeah, you came to the right. Well, of course, by the time this drops, Modernism Week will be over, but it is, frenzy time for mid-century modernists because we get, 200,000 people who roll into town from all over.
I know.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Jets stacked up at the airport. Yeah. None of them are mine. But
We have that same. We have that in common.
Yours isn't there either?
No, that's the two things
So-
we have in common. Because
so
I also
we-
used to play guitar for Paul McCartney.
No.
Yeah, long
you
time
did
ago.
not.
The Paul McCartney.
A different one.
I
This
can
other guy
safely
from
say
West
I've never
Virginia.
played guitar in my life. So
So we kind of did this in kind of a Benjamin Button fashion where we started, and we're going to go backwards here.
Okay, sure.
But let's go all the way back. You were born in Glendale,
I was.
Southern
Born-
California.
Yeah.
Big family?
Family of 4 kids. Yeah. Mom and dad, just a perfect post-war nuclear family.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dad was a car dealer. Mom was a homemaker and a housewife, and raised us 4 maniacs. We had some help, and it was a nice sort of, middle-class existence up by Brand Park in Glendale.
Oh, yeah.
A lovely time to be there. It was filled with rock and roll and hot rods, It
Was it a musical family?
mid-50s. A bit. My dad and mom both sang. My dad had one of those record lathes where he could cut a record and then with the other arm on the face of it, play that record. So,
Really?
yeah, I still have some 33s of us around a piano singing.
that's
Little
so cool.
And your sister
My sister
was in
yeah.
the business and had a big role in you be sitting here today on this podcast.
That's true.
pinnacle, the
My-
pinnacle,
the pinnacle, the
Brian's
peak of your career. Yes, and we're sorry for anything that happens after this.
Yeah, but yeah, that's right. My lovely late sister, Jean Ray, who only lived with our family for about 1 year when she was in high school. She was homecoming queen, stunning, talented, and I really looked up to her. She was 15 years older than me, and she was in love with rock and roll. And she loved Little Richard and Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis and Chuck Berry and Everly Brothers and Rick Nelson. And she'd listen to those records, and I'd just see the expression on her and her friend's face. And I went, this is the thing to do. Whatever
The
is
girls
making
are all
them so
happy.
happy, that's what I want to do. And I just, believe it or not, that's really what it was like for me. I was 3-4 years old and recognized through Jean that this was the thing to do.
And eventually that led to you being on stage at the Troubadour
It did.
with
yeah.
her.
Good research.
What
there,
an
yeah.
amazing opportunity. When you stood on that stage, did you know what you were doing? I mean, did you get it?
Oh, hell no.
I'm on the Troubadour.
I was 15 years old. I was excited about it because I'd been going to see shows of hers with her then husband, Jim Glover, as Jim and Jean. I would go to the Ice House and the Ash Grove and the Troubadour and other places to see them play. So since I was 10, by the time I was 15 and arrived on that stage, it was a big deal for me. Sure.
That's
yeah,
cool.
a really big deal.
Was the family pretty supportive? Mom and dad pretty supportive of what you were doing?
Yeah, they were. I mean, they would take my guitar away from me when I was bad, which was fairly
the worst.
often. And
Yeah.
that's why I never practiced. They had my guitar. No,
Because you were always bad.
I was always bad. Yeah. So no, they were very supportive. I'm very fortunate that way. Jean was super supportive, and I really looked up to her. And my first professional job after that was also with Jean, with Bobby Boris Pickett, doing the Monster Mash.
The monster, the
Yeah.
Crypt Kicker 5?
That's it.
Was that it?
Exactly.
That song rolls around every year.
Yep.
So when that comes on, what are your memories of that?
Touring Six Flags over Texas with Bobby Boris Pickett and his friend who played Brenfield throwing out like chicken wings and saying "Bat Wing" and kids running in the other direction. That's what I remember most.
Huge royalties coming in every year on that?
Not for me.
Not
but
for
yeah,
you.
Certainly, he's no longer with us, but he was Bobby Boris Pickett. Bobby Pickett was a lovely, lovely guy.
Yeah.
What a great place to start.
How much fun that must have been.
Oh, it was a blast. It was basically my high school band and my sister and a couple of other women backing up Bobby Boris Pickett.
Wow. What were you rifled off a few of your sister's influences
Yeah.
that obviously kind of rolled downhill to you, but what were some of your formative influences when you listened to music, like in those formative years, 10, 15 years old, when you were getting into the musical side of it? What were your influences? Who did you love?
Well, I'm just fortunate that I was born at a time when same year rock and roll bloomed, just about the time I was born, 55. I just followed along with all the trends. It was early rock and roll, the progenitors of rock and roll. Then it was, like hot rod music, like Dick Dale, and surf music, and
Jan and Dean,
the Beach Boys. Then it was Motown, and then it was the Beatles and all the other British Invasion guys. So I was just enamored with the British Invasion. When it happened, it was just like everything changed, like overnight, literally.
And you learned to play on your own.
Yeah, I did. Mhm.
And a lot of that was Beatles. Were you into the Beatles
I
at
would
that
say
point?
so. That Beatles, and earlier than that was folk music. So by the time I learned to play, about the year the Beatles arrived. So it was very easy to learn some of their songs. Not play them well, but at least I strum along and learn them. But yeah, I mean, the first song I played on guitar was Gloria.
Really?
them.
Gloria?
Yeah. I don't know. I just really loved that one. Yeah.
Was it 3 chords?
It was 3 chords. 3 chords in a dream.
Every song I played was 3 chords.
Is that right? Good.
This is a Randy question. I'm stealing your question,
Okay.
but you think about you as a 15-year-old at the Troubadour, and now you tour with Paul McCartney. Do you pinch yourself sometimes? Think, what an amazing ride?
It's just crazy because, when you're a kid in school and you have big dreams, you don't say them out loud or someone's going to punch you. They're gonna stuff you in a locker somewhere. You can't say it out loud, but it's somewhere in my mind. I know this is going to sound weird, but somewhere in my mind, I thought I was going to do something substantial, like that wasn't just going to be a hobby. Isn't that crazy?
No, I don't think that's crazy. It was interesting when we had the director, Paul Feig, his current hit movie, The Housemaid.
The Housemates. 300 million plus.
He said something that I found really fascinating. Because we were talking about his early career and he wanted to do stand-up, but he decided he wasn't great at that. And then he wanted to direct this kind of film. Wasn't great. But he said, ambitious people learn and find ways to get to the goals they've set.
Interesting.
And I feel like obviously that's true for you as well.
Yeah, it's just passion and ambition and lunacy.
A little craziness.
A little delusion in there.
And you were only going one direction, right? It was music.
Yeah.
That was it.
I did not have a
You
backup
played for One
plan.
Direction?
You have one direction.
I didn't have a backup plan, which is crazy. You're supposed to have a backup plan. I think when I was a kid, I wanted to be a fireman and a policeman and this and that, this typical little kid stuff. But inside, I wanted to be a rock and roller.
So you do this tune, the Monster Mash. Is that when you kind of realized, okay, I can make a living doing this?
Yeah. It was my first professional gig, making actual money and traveling. Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was
So
like,
what
oh
was
my
next
God.
after that?
Oh, next after that, this is the longest crazy story, but I'll see if I can tighten it up for you. While playing a show with Bobby Boris Pickett in full Crypt Kicker makeup, we're playing a fundraiser. Yeah, really. We did our own cool makeup, and there's evidence somewhere. Someone's got photos. We were asked to come and play a benefit for a guy to pay off a grand theft charge he had. And well, it was a guy named Phil Kaufman. And he's responsible for one of the craziest stories in rock and roll. And I won't go into the whole story. You're going to have to go search that up, kids. Phil Kaufman. Anyway.
Use the Google.
So through Phil Kaufman, I met Etta James. And Phil Kaufman was road managing Etta James as well, and invited me to go to a rehearsal of hers where the other guitar player couldn't make it. And I said yes. And I got to play with Etta James.
And let's be clear, you were 18
Yeah.
playing for Etta James,
Yeah.
who was a superstar
Yeah.
at that point.
And
And it was another. Did you understand? Oh my God, I'm playing for Etta James.
Okay, to back up, Phil also took me to the Troubadour to see her play one night. She was doing a 3-night stand there, and I had only heard of her. Maybe I'd heard her a bit on the radio, but I had no idea what an incredible performer she was. Yeah. So there she was in all of her glory, breaking out of a tough time in her life.
Yeah, she had kind
been
of dipped down a little
She'd been
bit.
a heroin addict
Right.
and now was in treatment for that, and now coming out the other end of it. And she saw me, a little willing, blonde-headed kid from Glendale, go figure, and said, come with me. And that was it.
And ultimately, when
1973.
you did your first solo album,
Yeah.
you asked her to be on it. What'd she say?
Yeah, she said, I'd do anything for you.
Wow.
Isn't that sweet?
That's
All those years later.
pretty amazing.
Did she
Yeah.
say at last?
At last.
I thought you'd never ask her.
Oh, Etta.
Low hanging fruit.
So we were talking yesterday about this, and he was going to use the "at last" line, and I was going to pretend like I was Chris Farley on Saturday Night Live saying to Paul, "Remember when you sang 'Let It Be'?" Yes, I do.
Yeah. That's
But
so good.
thankfully, we decided not to do
We
that.
decided not to do
So-
that.
So you're 18 years old. You're working with Etta James. Did I read that you ended up conducting for her?
I was her band leader.
Band leader.
Because she didn't have anyone else.
Right.
basically. So it was Etta, her husband, her newborn son, and me traveling up and down the coast in her Cadillac Seville, hiring bands through the promoter of the clubs we would play in. I would rehearse them, and we'd go play 2 sets that night and then move on to another town.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long did that last?
Oh, I was with Etta for over 15 years, and then another 20 after that as collaborators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And until the end, she pretty much wound down.
She wound down, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was, she had a wonderful, long, glorious life.
Yeah.
And
I saw her one
adore
night
her.
at a venue in Saratoga, California, up in Northern California.
did you?
It was a warm summer night, the perfect kind of evening for Etta James to walk out on stage. It was fantastic.
Now, about what year? Do you remember?
I'm guessing that this was probably mid-1990s, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems about right. But it was just one of those outside venues in the mountains that just magical.
Yeah.
Perfect place to see her.
Yeah, what a performer. What an artist.
And what a
we were very,
legacy
very
that she-
close. Yeah.
I can tell just by the way you talk about it.
Yeah.
With a lot
I
of
adored her.
reverence.
She was like a second mom in a way.
Oh.
Yeah.
And an incredible musical legacy. I mean,
Yeah. She's something else.
one of the great female vocalists of all time.
I agree. Yeah.
So other than Paul McCartney and Etta James, have you done anything else?
Yeah, you work with any successful?
Well, there was Monster Mash.
Well,
Let's not forget about Monster
Speaking of
Mash.
course, how did you end up? What brought you and Paul McCartney together? Tell me about that collaboration.
Well, let's see here. I was lucky enough to play in France with a couple of big artists in France, Mylène Farmer and a guy named Johnny Hallyday, who is the French Elvis Presley.
Okay.
And he was so famous over there. It was like if Elvis was just huge. And he hired pretty much an all-American band, all American players. And we rehearsed and toured every hamlet and every city in France together. And the drummer on those shows, on those tours, was Abe Laboriel Jr.
Yeah.
And when Abe left the French gigs, and it was because he got a gig playing with Paul McCartney on an album. And when I heard that news, I was like, I couldn't wait to hang out with Abe just to hear like what was
Stories.
it like to work with Paul McCartney. I couldn't believe it. I just wanted to shake his hand, because he'd shaken Paul's hand. But anyway, we were at dinner once in 2002, early 2002, my birthday. And I said, so what's going to happen? Are you guys going to do any shows? And he goes, oh, yeah, we're thinking about it. I said, well, who's going to play bass while he's playing guitar and piano? And then who's going to switch to guitar when he's playing bass? He goes, we're looking for a guitar player who plays bass. At which time my hand shot up in the air. And
But you didn't know how to play bass at that point, right?
Well, I knew how. I just hadn't done it on stage.
Just a little thing like that.
Just a little thing like that. I had recorded bass on my demos and demos for other people, but I was never a bass player on anybody's stage. Can you believe it? And I said, I'd love a shot at that. And he goes, that's a cool idea. And, then I got the opportunity to actually play one song with him on a Super Bowl.
And I read that once you started with him, it was like 6 months before you could look up off of your frets.
Yeah.
You just couldn't believe you were sitting there on stage with Paul McCartney.
I didn't want to blow it, like be so distracted by realizing here's the guy.
You look up at him
Shea
and freeze.
Stadium, and I think freeze and forget what I'm doing. But anyway, yeah.
And how long did that relationship last? Well, it's still going on.
With Paul, we're still going now. After
Have you heard something that we haven't heard?
No, I didn't mean I did.
Why? What have you heard?
There was some news last night.
Now I'm worried about Brian.
It lasted until today. But thank you very
At
much
12
for bringing
o'clock.
that up.
He heard he was on this podcast. Is like,
Are you composing or conducting for him?
No, I play guitar and bass, and I sing with him.
Okay.
Yeah, he's his own band leader. He doesn't need us conducting.
Is that kind of how it works if you're part of Paul's band, that Paul kind of tells you where we're going, how things are going to work, and everybody joins in?
Yeah, that's it. We're all told to prepare these songs, and we go and prepare them, and we all do our own due diligence and show up and do it, And
what's the set list like?
It's like 37 songs long. It's really something.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's a ton of work.
You've got to see this. It's a lot. It's really impressive.
Well, when Paul played Desert Trips, you were with the band then, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, that was quite a show.
Yeah, that must have been our usual 2 hours, 30, 2 hours, 40, something like that.
Wow.
It's hard to believe that's been almost 10 years. Desert Trips.
Yeah, Desert Trip was, it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. And Skip was still with Golden Boys then.
That's right. He was still a young man.
Yeah.
He was still, as were we. Well, I don't know if you were ever a young man, but
somebody needs to get Skip back on the ball and get another Desert Trip happening.
I heard a rumor.
What's the rumor?
That there's going to be another one in 2027.
Yeah. Which artist would they be?
I don't know. That's the only rumor I've heard.
If they could get Fleetwood Mac back together, get Elton to do a 70s thing, that would be cool.
That'd be really cool.
I'd go see that
Captain
show.
Slick and the Stick Shifts. We were a 70s
you
band.
You guys were amazing. I think
my high school band.
Some of the greatest covers.
Nobody covered
B-sides in the 70s.
Like yes.
Really?
Yeah, every Beach Boy song you didn't like, they did. It was amazing.
We did. Seasides. We were seasides.
Yeah. That's a surf or seaside band.
Oh, God. Why didn't I think about that before I said it?
I have to say that Desert Trip was the greatest concert series I've ever seen in my life. And seeing Paul McCartney was such a huge thing because I remember the first album that I ever got as a kid was a Paul McCartney and Wings album with Silly Love Songs. And it was just so magical to see that performance on a stage here in my backyard.
So did you know
man,
that Paul
cool.
McCartney was in
Thank
the
you.
band before Wings?
I did.
Well, I'm going to tell you something embarrassing about my early years in rock and roll. I bought the White Album and ultimately traded it for Donovan's Greatest Hits.
Yeah, that does.
That's how
that
much
didn't
I
age
know
well.
about music.
That did. Well, they do still call you Mellow Yellow. So
But it has nothing to do with that.
It's a good album, too.
It was a good album.
Donovan had great songs.
Yeah.
Sunshine Superman. They were.
All right, I'll give you the album if you'll give me the White Album.
I hate to admit this. There are several Beatles songs that I dearly love, but in general, I was not that much of a Beatles fan growing up.
Well, that's because they were recording after 1965, when your musical taste ended.
That's not entirely true.
Summer winds.
A little bit of a Frank.
I like the crooners. I was a Dean Martin.
I'm into it. I love.
What do
them.
you listen to? Like when
Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin. I love crooners. That's great.
It's good stuff. Now, are there current groups, artists that you really enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good music out there right now. There's a lot of good stuff. I have some friends in a band called Weezer that have been around.
I love
forever.
Weezer.
They've been around
Now
for a
they're
while.
a long time band, but
Hash Pipe's one of my favorite songs.
yeah, they're very good. There's a lot of
And
great
Pastimes.
bands out there.
Yeah, yes,
I like
it's a
Queens of the
hobby.
Stone Age. They're very good. They've been around a long time as well.
Super Bowl's tomorrow. How do you feel about Bad Bunny?
I feel good about Bad Bunny.
Me too.
See how
I
did
like
that?
Bad Bunny. I thought I enjoy Bad Bunny.
I think it's exciting. It's really, really cool.
I mean, you
It
got
seems to be riling some people up, and there's some
shoot.
counter programming going on. That should be hilarious.
maybe.
Oh my God!
Well, you get the biggest artist in the world on a stage for the biggest event in the world. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we couldn't bring Up With People back. You know, that was the greatest halftime of all time.
But you also got to perform at the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So-
twice actually.
So talk about that. Tell me just a little bit about that experience, because
Yeah.
the game is such an event, and now this halftime show is taken on a life of its own. It sometimes overshadows the game.
Sometimes it's better than the game.
Yeah.
We hope that the game is great tomorrow. I'm ready to go though. We've got snacks. We're ready. We're ready.
Who are you rooting for?
I'm a Seahawks.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I was a Rams guy, of course.
From
Born
Seattle.
and raised. Oh, really? Born and raised here in L.A. I'm a Rams guy, but once they were vanquished, then I'm going to have to stay on the West Coast here. But anyway, that's just my own taste. I'm excited about it. Super Bowl for me. The first Super Bowl we did was just one song before the national anthem, 2002.
Right.
That was basically my audition to be in Paul's band. I didn't
glad-
have the
What an
I didn't-
audition.
Glad
I
it was
didn't
a
have to-
low key kind of
just
thing.
a low intimate thing, just 77 billion people watching. No, don't be. Anyway, that
Don't
was
screw this up. Here's your bass.
Oh my God.
We can't do it again, so get it right.
Jesus Christ, adrenaline like rushing. But yeah, and then when we did it again, an actual halftime show, that was 2005, I think. Yeah, that was awfully exciting. I just remember, wait, let's go back to 2002 for a second. We're watching the game after I had done my audition, and I guess the audition went okay. And now it's the end of the game, and we're up in a skybox, and one of Paul's guys comes up and asks me what kind of gear I like to travel with, what kind of amps I use on stage. I went, whoa, that's the first indication that maybe it's
Whoa.
more than just one song. Anyway, so that turned into this, of course, 24 years. But as we were leaving the Super Bowl that night, Paul asked us all to go back to the hotel where he just wants to hang out a little bit more. I went, great, that sounds fun. We get to the elevator, and his security pushes some people aside so that Paul could get, and the band can get on the elevator. One of the people pushed aside was George Bush. It's like, wow, to be a Beatle,
Yeah.
out-heavied a former president.
And they didn't have to push
That
him
was-
aside. They just chose to.
Yeah, and George Senior, George is looking like, whoa, okay, well, whatever.
And then he looked, well,
But
okay, it's
even
Paul
he-
McCartney.
even he said,
Exactly.
well, anyway,
He looked at the elevator. It was supposed to. Not going to do it.
Not going to do it.
Wouldn't be prudent.
It wouldn't be prudent.
So-
I'm gonna do it.
You ended up in Russia
Yeah,
with the band.
yeah.
What was that like? Talk about how that kind of came together and what it was like while you were there.
Oh, the days when that seemed like a good idea.
Yes. It turned out better than it did for Blood, Sweat, and Tears when they went there.
Oh, wow. That's a story I'll have to look up.
Yeah.
Anyway, for us, it was early days for us. And yeah, I don't have detailed memories of that. I'd like to sort of just let that go.
What, was there any hesitancy on your part to want to do the trip?
Not really, because I was new in Paul's band. It
Right.
was something that he had planned and wanted to do. I'll tell you, there was one job way before that I didn't want to do, and that was to play Sun City. When I was playing with Laura Branigan, I said, I ain't going to play Sun City, and left the band as a result. But
Just a personal choice,
Yeah,
did
just a
not
personal
want to be
choice.
during apartheid
Yeah.
and all of that.
yeah,
Yeah.
mid-'80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, she was hot for a minute, wasn't she?
She sure was.
The
yeah.
biggest thing in the world for a little while there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you still with her when she passed away?
No, I was with her for about a year up until that offer to go to Sun City.
Okay. I guess that pretty much ended
Yeah.
that relationship.
Yeah, that was it.
Now, what kind of touring dates do you have? I mean, obviously, you guys can work anywhere you want, whenever you want. So what kind of schedule do you keep?
We're doing when we tour, whatever Paul's comfortable with. It's up to our tour director, Barry Marshall, to put together a schedule for Paul that's viable, and then put together another one that's viable, and let Paul decide what he feels like doing. But they all have to be viable before Paul approves. And then, he, decides what he feels like doing.
Well, it's amazing how he still does what he does.
Yeah.
Do you get a chance to kind of watch his routine and see how he stays able to do what he's doing?
Yeah, he's remarkable. He lives a good life,
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Working out all the time, taking care of himself,
Working out.
spiritually,
Yeah,
keeping himself
That's right.
clean.
All that good stuff.
Does the band do any of this stuff together on the road? What's a night on the road look like for the band?
Oh, we'll often party after a gig together.
Yeah?
He likes to unwind with the people that he loves.
Not
And
like the
that-
60s or 70s
Not
partying
quite that
after
kind
the
of
show.
partying. No. I don't remember what that was like. No,
Somebody has pictures.
yeah, there probably is. He's just a good guy. He wants to be around the people he loves, and we're lucky enough to be among those people. And he wants to hang out and have a bite, and have a drink, and have some laughs.
You see him keep continuing this for a while longer?
I really don't know.
No. How about you?
I'm
You're a
gonna be
rocker
doing
until-
whatever he wants to do. I'll say that.
What if he didn't want this to do it anymore? Would you move on to the next thing?
Oh, what is the next thing after Paul McCartney?
Captain
It's
Slick
like-
and his stick shifts is looking
Yeah,
for a
that's-
reunion tour.
That's possible. It's sort of like the step down from a Paul McCartney is a bit drastic.
Yeah.
And I'm at a
Yeah,
point right
it's a
now.
doozy.
It's a doozy. Yeah, there you go. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. I'm very happy with Paul, and will look forward to doing more if he wants to. Yeah.
Patrick asked you earlier about just standing on stage and thinking about where you are and how amazing that is. But is there a part of you that can sit back and kind of realize that, gosh, I'm Brian Ray. I've done all these things.
It's crazy. That's a great question. It's like I was just saying to my girlfriend at lunch, I forget about the things that I've done in my natural course of a day. And then someone will come up to you, once in a while and tell you how much this show and that song or that solo album meant to them. And then you're reminded, and then you're just so grateful to have mattered to anybody at all on this, in this long life,
100%.
It's amazing. But, meanwhile, I'm just out here living it, still. And
you're in the right
still
place to
moving
do it.
forward. Yeah. Loving it.
What's coming up next for the Plaza? Anything big that we need to know about?
Oh, there's some big shows coming up. We may as well do another rock show at some point here. We'll see.
Oh, 100%.
So a gentleman just walked in, a previous guest, Bruce Fessier, the writer from The Desert Sun for 40 years. And Bruce actually sent me something yesterday and said, so I hear that Paul requires the band to eat vegan on the road. Is
Not
that
true.
Not true? You
Not
liar,
true.
Bruce. So he's not quite that controlling.
No, not at all. No.
Bruce has given
Paul-
me bad stories before.
Paul is a vegetarian, and he loves that life. And also, honestly, I mean, he does feed. He probably arranges for 300 meals a day, working for all of the crew and staff. So at those catered events at the venue, he doesn't want to support the meat lobby with that much money. That would be substantial, wouldn't it?
Yes, it
And
would.
since that's not where his heart is at, that our catering is vegetarian, not vegan. And then what we do on our own time with our own money and stuff is up to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul just says, let it be.
Yes, he does. He says that too. But, that would be a really, just think of it, a song. A song with that title.
How many chords do we need for that?
About 4. Yeah.
History made right here.
Yeah, I knew it was
Big
coming. I
conversation
knew it
with
was coming.
What?
No, I just couldn't let it be. I'm sorry.
You could now. Is the band traveling anytime in the next year?
I cannot answer that.
Yes, you could.
No, I cannot. I will not answer.
Wow, way to go all 60 minutes on us, Randy. That was...
Our only listener is here.
All right, Leslie Stahl, calm down.
It could be worse. He could be going like Barbara Waters on me. Like,
What tree would you
Walters
be?
trying to make me cry?
Yeah. We've made a few guests cry.
Yes.
I think it was basically when they realized what they had just done to their
Yeah.
career.
Often they just cry when they listen back to the
Being
episode.
on the show.
How much editing is
Not nearly enough.
We
yeah.
we
Not
raw
enough.
dog this baby. We just put it out there.
No, really?
No, John does some editing. Often we edit your Andy out entirely. No, I'm kidding. That's a joke.
Hey, we didn't talk about the Bayonets.
Hey,
I know that's the greatest name of the band.
That really is.
it's a good band.
It's
Good
very-
name.
Well, talk a
solid.
little bit. How'd you come up with the name?
Oh, well, yeah, I was about to do what would have been a third solo album, and I called up my often trusted collaborator, Oliver Lieber, son of Jerry Lieber of Lieber and Stoller Lieber, and asked
Wow.
if he wanted to write some more material. And he said, yeah, but I'd probably rather be in a band. Let's do a band project. And I said, okay.
really
I'm still
twisted your
coming
arm there, huh?
I'm still coming over in an hour to write songs. I don't care what we call it. And so we started and really thought about how do we fashion it? How do we make this its own personality rather than just another Brian Ray record? And we kind of defined it in our minds with our, ideas of music we wanted to be like Dwayne Eddy, like stripper beats with cool reverby guitars, kind of dusty and naughty but still pop. We kind of described the whole thing. And when we were coming up with names, I had heard Barack Obama during a debate use a really funny line against Mitt Romney. Mitt was talking about building up our, armed forces and our battleships. And I think Barack Obama said something like this: yeah, we should probably brush up on our horses and bayonets while we're at it. And I went, oh my God, horses and bayonets. That's it. And then we just shortened it to the bayonets.
The bayonet.
So
Yeah.
cool. Horses and Bayonets would have been pretty cool.
It is
Bayonets,
pretty cool.
That's another good band. You could do an album with that. When you're writing music, is it more a collaborative process like that, or do you often just sequester yourself often?
Yeah, I mean, with Oliver, it was very collaborative and really fun. Like the amount of laughter that happens and the amount of joke lyrics that go down while we're trying to find a lyric. Even some of the band names that we came up with before this, it was like, I'd give up. None of these are funny anymore. But it's fun. Collaboration is really fun.
What's
We
your
gotta-
process when you write? Do you music first, lyrics?
When I'm writing for myself, by myself? Oh, sorry. Yeah, when I'm writing my own material, it could start with a lyric, a title, a beat, a guitar lick. It could be any number of things, or a melody line. Whatever is the spark, you build around that.
And do you have stuff kind of like hanging around that you've put together over the last couple of
Yeah,
years and
yeah.
you'll go back to them at some point?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes you'll have two ideas that you would never think would work together that you then put together.
Yeah.
Oh, like a little Frankenstein. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, this has been remarkable, and first of all, I want to say thank you. It's amazing the work you're doing for the Plaza Theatre Foundation.
Yes.
To have somebody of your caliber to step into that role and bring that kind of notoriety, I think, has made a big difference for this local
Yeah.
community.
What it's done to
so
this
much.
valley.
And the
Thank
fact
you.
that you just jump in and want to be involved is really impressive, because
It's a pleasure.
you probably don't have to do that.
He might be able to find things to do.
He might have other things to do.
To be
So,
honest, it's something, thank you for saying that, but it's something that's going to last far beyond us, and it's going to be, it's so well done that place is ready for another 60, 100 years.
Yeah.
And it's just really something to be a part of, lifting the community up and bringing music and art back to the center of town. It's really wonderful.
well, we just appreciate that.
And right next door to Brandini Toffee.
That's
I mean,
right.
it just doesn't get
Yeah.
any better.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to do this. It's been such a thrill to
It's
get a
been
chance
cool.
to sit down and talk with you.
It's
in
my
this
pleasure.
intimate
Thank you so
format.
much, man. Thanks for having
Thanks,
me.
Brian.
guys.
It's awesome.
That was
Appreciate
pretty
it.
cool.
Thank you.
You okay with this one?
I don't know if we need to do another one after
I mean,
this.
last night, you're on the McCallum Theatre pretending like you're William Shatner, Today you're interviewing Brian Ray with Randy Florence.
I feel very like when Brian was talking about his experience at the Super Bowl, I felt the same way last night.
Did you?
Yeah, for all
You just kind of skipped over the with Randy
1,100
Florence
people
part.
in the audience there at the McCallum. It was
Patrick.
Brian, thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Randy,
Patrick.
thank you.
It's been a blast.
And
Thank you, Randy.
You were the guest wrangler this time
I
around.
was. Thank
Good
you.
work. And our thanks to J.R. Roberts for
JR, wherever
Making
you
that
are, thank
connection.
you, sir.
Thank you, John McMullen.
Thank you. And did you, when you were on stage at the McCallum last night, give a plug for this show?
No, I was
Son of a bitch.
very nervous. There was a 72-piece orchestra there, and then 1,100 people watching. I was nervous.
How many-
Audiences make me nervous.
Nervous like an atmospheric river coming over.
Yeah. Are they doing any more shows over the weekend?
Yeah, they're doing that show.
So you could go back,
potentially
do it
but
again.
I am not.
get on stage, talk about the podcast and Brian Ray.
You know, when lightning strikes, you got to
Get off.
accept it and realize that may never happen again.
Leave them wanting more. Right.
Again, and our thanks to Skip Page and his team at Little Bar Skip. We really enjoyed having you in. And
a
the whole
blast.
staff here, they take great care of us. So thank you very much. Be sure to subscribe so that you never miss another episode of Big Conversations Little Bar. I'm Patrick Evans. Thanks for listening.
Big Conversations, Little Bar is a production of the Mutual Broadcasting System. This podcast is available in audio and video format. Visit our website at www.bigconversationslittlebar.com. New episodes are released every Monday.
Athletes and dreamers, stars of the screen, leaders and builders, and all in between, sharing their journeys, how they've come this far. It's Big Conversations, Little Bar, at Big Conversations, Little Bar.